Hey everybody, Mr. Cameron here in my office, and today we are going to do something a little bit different. Today I need to talk to you about a racket, alright? So in PE we are going to start our racket sports unit, and for this unit you are going to need some kind of paddle or racket or something that you can use at your house, alright? I have a few examples of some rackets that we would have used in PE, and if you have anything like this at home, you can just use one of those. But some of you might not have anything like this, and I'm going to show you a creative way that you can kind of make one at your house that will be good enough for you to use during our PE unit. Okay? So one of the examples you could use is I have this paddle. It's actually a pickleball paddle, but you might have something similar like a ping pong paddle or maybe like a super small tennis racket, something that you can use just like this. So if you have something like this, this would work just fine. Alright, another thing that I have here in the gym is a foam paddle. So kind of the same thing, except this part's made of foam. It's a little bit softer. So I don't know if you have anything like this, but this would work just fine too. And then the last thing that I have in the gym that we would have been using is a badminton racket. Badminton is a racket sport. This is a smaller badminton racket. But be careful. I know some of you have badminton rackets at home, but you might not be able to swing them in your house because some of them are much longer, and I don't want you to hit anything or break anything in your house. All right? So if you have anything like that for our racket sports unit, you would be able to use that, and that would work just fine. We're going to be hitting things like balloons up in the air. We're going to be hitting maybe a sock ball here and there, but we're not going to be playing like full-blown tennis or badminton in our houses or anything like that. Okay? But if you don't have any racket or any paddle or anything that you can use at your house, there's a way that you can make one using some things that you might have just laying around your house. So a simple way to make a racket is by getting a paper plate or maybe even two paper plates. That works pretty good. And then some kind of spoon that's a little bit longer. Not just like a spoon that you would use for dinner, but maybe like a wooden spoon, or I have this plastic one that's for like mixing things. So I'm going to demonstrate it with this plastic spoon. All right? And then the only other thing you're going to need is some tape. Now, what you're going to do is you are going to tape your spoon to your paper plate just like this. So I'm going to quickly do that and show you what it's going to look like. And of course, you can make yours much different than mine or a little bit better than mine. I'm just going to do it quick so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I put a piece of tape right there. Maybe I'll put another one on there so it's a little sturdier. And of course, if you were doing this for real, you could use as much tape as you want or need to make sure that your racket is sturdy. Okay? So maybe I do something like that. So now I kind of have a handle, and I kind of have a racket that we'll use. All right? Now I couldn't hit like a tennis ball with this. This is way too light. The tennis ball is too heavy. It wouldn't really work that good. But it would be good enough to hit a balloon. It would be good enough to hit a sock ball. Okay? And then if you wanted to do the other side, what you can do is put another paper plate right here. And then on the sides you could staple this. You could put another piece of tape on there to kind of tape those paper plates together so it looks more like a racket. Alright? So again, whoops, let me put one on this side so I can show you. So again, for our racket sports unit, I know not all of you have a racket or a paddle or something at your house, but most of you have a paper plate, or you can get a paper plate. Most of you have some kind of wooden spoon that you can borrow from the kitchen for a couple of weeks, and this would work just fine for a racket, for our racket sports unit. Okay? So go ahead and try to make one of those if you don't have a racket or paddle that looks like this. Okay? See you soon. Have fun.